Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the You Got a Minute Fam podcast. I am your host, Ronnie Carlton. I said my government name. RC Carlton, the Commish, Optimus Prime, Megatron, whatever you would like to call me, asshole, dictator. I am joined by,
Nobody's ever called you Megatron or
bro, because
anything
you're
other than.
Starscream, I gotta be Megatron.
Oh
They do
my
call me that
god!
because you're a Starscream, so it like fit.
I'm,
I'd rather be
I'm
Optimus.
about. I'm about to go to. I'm about to go to 60 minutes on your ass and get this whole thing shut down.
Well, then I shut the page down for a week. I had to shut the page down for a day. My fault. That accidentally happened just after they got the whistleblower. Had to clean some stuff out. But I shouldn't bite the hand that feeds me, though. But I am joined by my co-host, Actively Lazy, the artist formerly known as Pence, currently known as Starscream.
Am I supposed to say something? Yo, I'm not fucking talking to you, yo, after you post that shit. What's that video? And then you had the audacity to edit it and was like, watch the whole thing. No, I'm not gonna watch the whole thing. I'm not gonna let you get laughs off on me. I gave you one.
It was funny. Did you see it?
It wasn't funny. I had a bad week.
He said, no, not true. False. I put the cowboy too. I did a little bit more. We got to get to that. I did a little bit more. I put the Cowboys take in there. You said something about Carolina was going to cover it, but whatever. I had to do what I had to do.
They almost did, though. It wasn't like it was fall.
They stuck with it. Was a weaker one, but it still worked. I needed 2 clips because it was like a minute-long video after, so I had to cut it up 30 seconds each. All right, so we got some headlines here. Starting out with a bang. Your team denied the GOAT, Tom Brady, born in the Bay Area, fan of Joe Montana, wanted to end his career in San Francisco. And y'all were like, nah. How you feel about that?
Man, this is just dumb, bro. There's been so many moves over the last 12 years. Has it been 12 years? Last 7 or 8 years. As an Honor fan, I'm just like, I don't know, man. Maybe they're letting people who play Madden run this shit, man, because it doesn't make any sense. Tom Brady wants to play on your fucking team. You let Tom Brady play on your team. If Tom Brady comes onto your team and says his offense is trash, we need to do this, this, and this, you say, yes, the offense is trash. We're going to do this, this, and this. Like, look at Bruce Arians. He carried Bruce Arians and a fucking franchise like the Buccaneers to a Super Bowl. A Super Bowl. We would have never thought that the Buccaneers, even when they won with Keyshawn and Gruden, we were all like, oh, that was lucky. Mm-hmm. We never thought we'd ever see them win a championship again. And look at it. Look at it. He did it in his first year.
1 year
at the age of like 42. I'm starting to think he's not even as old as he say he is. I need a birth certificate.
He been lying. He been lying about it. That's just amazing to me that the only teams that wanted him were the Chargers and the Bucs, and that's basically it. And I don't understand because he wasn't bad. They just didn't have any weapons. They didn't give him any receivers. He basically got what Mac Jones has right now, except for by level. I mean, except for he had Gronk, who was beat up and a shell of himself.
I just don't understand how. I don't understand how you like tell Tom Brady no. Like, I don't know if any athlete whose prime has extended to this level has ever been denied.
It's ridiculous. I don't understand what y'all were doing, especially when you look at all you had was that fucker, as he calls him, but all you had was Jimmy Garoppolo, and at that point, were you really sold on him that much?
No, nobody's ever been sold on Jimmy, man.
Maybe
except fucking Kyle Shanahan and I guess Lynch, but nobody's ever really been sold on Jimmy. Belichick was sold on Jimmy. Apparently, he liked him, but nobody else. Nobody.
I don't think Shanahan. This is my theory, and maybe Lynch to some degree. I don't think Shanahan. He's such an offensive genius. I don't think he wanted to collaborate. I think he wanted to do things his way. And he's like, when time comes, you got to let him take over. So I think that had to be part of it. Had to be.
His dad, Coach John Elway, I'm sure they collaborated. He's got to know greatness when he sees it. And I'm not trying to say Elway is Brady. Obviously, Brady's 100 times better than Elway. So why would you?
But still.
But why would you? There's still levels to it between Elway and Brady. Why would you not just ride the coattail for a couple of years and then Bring in a Trey Lance and let him groom behind Tom Brady.
I don't understand. It's some crazy stuff, but I didn't understand. I kind of knew that y'all weren't interested, but then when you really find out that Brady was super interested.
Look, all right. First of all, say you need to change that. Don't say y'all were not interested. I bet you if you took a poll with the team, 99% of the people on that team would have said, "Give me Tom Brady." The 1% that would have been like, "Hell no," was Richard Sherman, and you see where he's at right now.
Even if he was playing like Ben Roethlisberger, and this
no.
Listen to what I'm saying. He is so universally respected. You would get something out of it. Like Ben, like people literally go up. First of all, Tom Brady wouldn't let himself get like that. But
no, he wouldn't.
Brady is so universally respected. If he was washed, he would still get so much respect. Even Peyton. Remember how bad Peyton was that last year?
He was awful.
They still dragged themselves. So he did enough to win a Super Bowl. So even if he was like Peyton, like because Peyton and Ben are basically it's very similar, but it's for the fact that Ben just sucks and doesn't have anything else he can bring to the table. It ain't gonna be leadership. But just having Brady around, man, if he was washed. But god damn.
It's just inexcusable. That's the type of thing that if I was an owner, I'd fire everybody associated with that move.
Something you gotta do. I don't understand it. The Cowboys just fired. Breaking news. They did fire him, but Cowboys just released Jalen Smith. Any thoughts on that? Instant reaction?
No, I mean he doesn't fit the system. I hope he finds another home. But yeah, he made a decent career out of something that a lot of people thought he didn't even have a chance to play. So if this is it, then it's been real. But he can't play in that system.
Yeah, I mean, signing him so quickly, it was kind of a message to Zeke. If you remember, we signed him, and it was kind of a message to Zeke. And that first year, or I guess the second year, he played really well. And then him and Van Der Esch is rookie year, they seem like this great combo. Van Der Esch can't stay healthy, and it seems like overnight the league passes even more. And Van Der Esch isn't as good. Jalen can't really cover either. He had a 69.5 PFF rating last year, which wasn't bad. 11th among running linebackers, but this system he doesn't fit. But to me, to get cut like that says most likely something you were malcontent and you caused some kind of disruption for that to happen.
I mean, he has high expectations for himself, and rightfully so. I'm sure he wasn't happy about the changes and flexibility that Micah gets, but hey, guess what? Mike is a generational talent. I'll say it. I'm not afraid to say it right now. He's a generational talent. You can put this guy anywhere on the fucking field and he's gonna make plays on defense. Jalen can't say that. So yeah, you either shut up and get in line or you gotta go. It was like that on the Niners when we had Aldon Smith. I forgot who was mouthy. It might have been Ray McDonald. We shipped his ass to Arizona in a heartbeat. Like, okay, bye.
It's a 49.
Or matter of fact, it might not have been
during the week. Y'all have shocking moves during the week like this that come out of nowhere. We don't do this kind of shit.
No, y'all don't. Yeah, we known for that.
We usually hang on to a guy no matter what. Like, I don't understand. I really don't understand. He's owed the remainder of his $7.2 million base salary this year.
And that's a good deal.
$6 million cap hit. So I guess more will come out, but it's got to be something. Something else has got to be going on.
Have you looked at all 22s on this guy, bro?
Not this year. Not this year. I have not looked. Still,
look. Just pick a random. No, pick a random game, and you will find your answer within the first 10. I promise you, within the first 10 plays.
That picture that you posted where the guy was just jumping way out of.
That was Maurice. That was Maurice that posted that.
Oh, really?
I've got clips on my phone where I'm like, yo, like, remember when I did my Baldy impression? Like, where are you going? The ball is that way. What are you doing? Like, he's lost in the sauce. He's got to be the dumbest football player I've ever seen.
Moving on, Urban Meyer's big adventure. I guess after not traveling with the team from the Thursday night game, I guess Urban decided to stay in Ohio. I would assume he probably has a place out there. But
of course,
gosh, we see him first. The girl posts a pic. Who is this? This man is flirting with me. He was creepy. But then all of a sudden, when she found out he was famous, she was grinding on him, which I'm not going to talk about women. I love women, but that was rather typical. I don't know if you caught that, but did you see the placement of Urban's right hand while she was doing the grinding? It was a veteran play.
We fall down, but we get up. If Urban was Southern Baptist, man, that shit would blow over, bro. Would nobody care? But he gotta be Presbyterian or something. I don't know what they are. But look, he white Christian, so it's different for them. Black Christians, man, we'd have put a little bit extra in the collection plate and it'd have been over with. But nah, bro. He gotta do better. Like, you're Urban Meyer. You got an image. Matter of fact, this is just a testament to how low Urban is. He can't even get a pass in Ohio. When Urban was a coach, that would have never got out if he was at Ohio State.
They would have covered it up.
Yeah. My man goes to the Jags and Randall Blond's like, who is this old guy?
It's so random. And him of all people, like, that's the kind of stuff I expect of like a college coach that's younger, Kiffin or something like that with the co-ed. Always been that kind of thing.
We know it.
Arkansas. Who's my boy? Oh, Petrino in Arkansas. But like, there's a way to do this, but it's not going out to a random bar and messing around with 20-year-olds and you're old enough to be almost their grandfather. That ain't the way. You can see he wasn't a pro at this. He hadn't done this in a while. I don't know I know we had trolled him so much about the stress getting to him, but this is a coach that really, I don't care what anybody says, a great coach, great all-time coach, innovator in his heyday. But I've never seen a coach struggle with stress management like I've seen this man struggle with stress management.
I mean, he just been out the game too long, man. It's just obvious, and I can imagine the he preached his players and probably turning on his ass as we speak. Like, you hypocritical mother, you know what? So
God knows what he's preaching to them because he's a big character guy and he's like a low Dabo. He's not as blatant, but that's what he's out here doing. The Dabo shit.
But to your question, though, unfortunately, I did see the placement of his right hand, and I mean, some people like that stink finger stuff, man. I mean, that seems to be popular amongst saltines and unfortunately a select Hotep crew. Seems to be their thing. It ain't my thing, but to each his own. I'm not judging that. I just wish Urban would have made better choices.
Somebody PFS said, imagine Jalen Smith for Josie Bosa, and Derwin James, but he's not good. So why do I care about where Jalen? If he was good, we wouldn't be cutting him. But we'll get to that a little bit later.
He'd be running into it. He'd be running into his own players.
Yeah, I'm not sure what
they in the goddamn way.
See, but people get confused about who's good or not. Teams aren't cutting people in the middle of the year if they're good, but whatever. Ravens and the rushing record. What a saga. It seems like the Harbaughs are always involved in this kind of mess. If you missed it, I don't know where you've been, but they got the ball back with like 3 seconds left in the game against Denver, game fully in hand. Denver was trying to score. The Ravens got the ball back. The Ravens had a streak that they had 100-yard rushing in so many games. I believe this was to tie the record with the Steelers. And so they ran a quarterback sweep with Lamar to get it. Vic Fangio was irate. He said it was Bush League. Basically, he'd never seen anything like it. And Harbaugh, to his credit, said, I didn't know there was a 16-point play out there where y'all were passing when the game was over as well. Whose side do you fall on in this?
Vic, man, bro, that's how you get in my Harbaugh. Like, you've been a dumbass. Like, if I'm down 16, of course I'm playing to at least try to give myself an opportunity to score and get an onside kick. If you're up fucking 16 with less than a minute left, you take a fucking knee. Like, that's just how it goes. And like you had said to me in text, at some point somebody just gonna go ahead and take out Lamar, and I'm gonna be pissed. And it's gonna be Harbaugh's fault. It's gonna be like, if Lamar gets hit on some dirty stuff because people mad at Harbaugh, he need to give that Earl Thomas middle finger to the Ravens sideline, because it's definitely their fault.
I am a big fan of the Ravens culture. I've heard so much about it from Daniel Jeremiah, who's my favorite, probably NFL media person, or used to be. He got so big now, it's kind of different. But and he's a former scout for that organization. But it looks like a part of Ravens culture is celebrating shit that don't matter. Celebrating your preseason wins doesn't matter. This obscure record, the most team rushing yard, no. The most gains over 100 yards by a team rushing. The more you have to put in front of a record, the more obscure it is. It's like everybody always accuses of those LeBron ESPN stats. That's what it is. You cared that much. Lamar said he didn't even know that it was a something. And which I don't know how that's possible if they're running you in 3 seconds and not kneeling. I don't know how he doesn't know it, but Lamar's not always the brightest. But I think Marlon Humphrey said he cared or he was watching the scoreboard or whatever. But it's just a really weird thing. And to me, I don't mind running the score up on somebody. But when you got 3 seconds left and you're just going to run a play to get an obscure record, that's just really weird. And you are creating a target. And if you look at Fangio, I don't know if you saw they got him on the sideline. He knew it was coming and he got pissed off that it happened. Like he was still coaching, that easily. He was ready for it. Easily somebody could take a cheap shot at your quarterback. Easily somebody could pull a hamstring or tear ACL. Like, why? Why even take that chance? I know some people say it's minuscule, but it's a play that you did not have to have.
It's unnecessary, man. The Ravens and their industry, they need to limit as much exposure to plays as possible.
Yeah, I don't understand why you would do more. I mean, just like extra. You just don't need the extra is what we don't need. I don't understand that. We got to our fines. We had a little crossfire coming forward in the next couple of segments here. I fined Leonard Sparkman.
You're a terrible person.
No. Let me tell you before you go back to.
I saw the post. Bro, it doesn't matter.
Bro.
He's an elder statesman for Team Nickel. You ought to be ashamed of yourself. You don't treat our elders like that, yo. Not in front of Salties. You should.
The only thing that was bad is I didn't know it was his birthday the next day. And Facebook told me it was his birthday. I didn't even mute him. I just said I was going to, and I didn't follow up because it was his birthday when I woke up. But this man posted the worst meme I've ever heard. It said Cowboy fans get the big head after one game, and it had this dude with this ginormous, like, conehead head. It was the worst meme. But then he had the nerve to complain about why the post didn't go through. And he's not an all-star. Like, some stuff just can't be. It can't be excused. You fine me for not respecting the elders. If your elder is high or drunk, that respecting the elders thing doesn't go quite as far.
Man, it still go far, bro. You just rude. I wish your mom was in the group. She would definitely say something to you about it. You know she would.
Bro, you cannot.
Mm-hmm.
You can't. You can't post that. You can't put that in my queue. And then wonder why it didn't get up in the big screen. He could have posted it in a comment, but then he actually wanted to put a post through the queue with that crap.
We should be happy that he's sharing memes that you don't have to crop. Our other old heads don't even know how to do that.
I mean, no, I don't care. I'd rather have an uncropped meme than what he posted. And I put it in the All-Star group, y'all, if you want to see it. But oh my gosh, I just can't even imagine. You started this one. Sometimes the Saltines, they copy us. It's not unusual. Saltines copy nickel culture. So in this case, Sam took a page out of your book because you made a comment about Joe Gills talking about football, talking about NFL football on a Saturday. So Sam, really feeling petty, probably because the Eagles suck. But anyway, Sam, but I still like the Fires. I don't care. He says, after conferring with the IBN head of player discipline, Actively Lazy, I'm finding Dalton Collins $7 million IBN and muting him 24 hours for bumping an NFL post on Saturday when his team has a big game. Saturday is for the kids, y'all. It's very well written, but I'm just like, and then Tony Mays, who's posting as John Anthony because he got a 30-day suspension, says, there have been quite a few NFL posts made today. Wouldn't those be violations too? Don't be a Republican about this. I thought that was funny. But see what you started? Look what you did.
Look, hey man, I can't help it if I'm still a trendsetter, man. People want to do what I do. I don't know what to tell you. Saturdays are for the kid, man. A pretty healthy dose of college fans in the group, and Saturdays are predominantly run by college football. So why the fuck are you posting about that? Nobody cares about the NFL on Saturday. Literally, nobody cares. Even NFL people are watching college football on Saturday. So why are you posting about the NFL? We don't care about Rivera and we don't care about fucking Dallas.
This
Okay.
one was just a bump. I thought it was a friendly bump, but it wasn't a bad. And the thing about Dalton, which is interesting, is if you mute Dalton, he'll just take it, even though he's sitting on a lot of tokens to unmute himself. He'll just do it and plot his revenge. So he's definitely plotting revenge on you, Sam. So just be ready. And I think he's been an all-star longer than you, so he might unload the clip on you. We had a lot of bumps this week. We had Maurice. He bumped Jerry Jones' comment during the Zeke lockout about 2 years or holdout about 2 years ago, where Jerry said Zeke who, because Tony Pollard was looking so good. Zeke is back. It looks like 200-yard rushing games in a row. He looked really good against Carolina, which I think is a pretty good defense. He looked really good. So we had that bump. And then you bumped, not the first time. I don't even feel like Chip Kelly was actually coach of your team. It was 1 year, and it was such a weird, like y'all didn't really commit to him, and it was just such a weird hire. But anyway, this is when Chip Kelly was coaching. He wanted that because it fit his system, but y'all passed on him because the God. Remember, y'all used to say, "In Trent we trust. In Trent we trust." How's that working out for y'all right
now? Trent built one of the best defenses in the NFL for a long time. Trent built a Super Bowl contender in San Francisco, in Seattle, and then turned around. And I think he's now with the Jags. So we're waiting to see how that's going to work out. But let's not act like Trent couldn't draft. He just couldn't draft quarterbacks, and he couldn't draft receivers. And he had a thing for loving cornerbacks who were coming off of ACL injuries. But the man drafted Willis, Bowman, Borland, Alden Smith. Like, come on now. Like, it's not like he didn't do anything. Like, he was good. And yes, over Harbaugh, yes, I trust Trent.
Well, now they're both gone. And well, I guess y'all are. I thought y'all had a chance to go to Super Bowl this year, but then after looking at Sunday's game, I'm like, nah. I realize y'all ain't going nowhere. The injury's still gonna happen, and y'all just don't. There's something missing from y'all this year, but that's neither here nor there. Well, it could be quarterback play, but it's just something missing. It's like, I don't know. Y'all can't finish games for one thing.
Well, what's missing is execution, and that's like execution and play calling. Like, we call the right play, we don't execute it. We just can't get in sync. That's all it is. And I mean, like I told you on the show, Russell Wilson always does. Didn't I say we're gonna lose by a touchdown? Like, we always fucking lose by a touchdown. Like that's how it always goes. So and then last night on the recap show, I said, we missed 2 field goals and an extra point. That's 7 points because our kicker got hurt before the game. It sucks that would have been a tie game. Yeah, we just had bad luck, but essentially that's just how it goes.
You gotta do something.
We're still not. We're 2-2. We're not out of the playoff hunt. Our division is always
don't see y'all going anywhere. They're not there. And I thought y'all were legitimately like a Super Bowl contender, but I don't think so. We might be better than y'all, believe it or not.
Y'all are 100% badass.
You and I went to war over Matthew Stafford, as we tend to do. Corey's been a little bit busy. Starscream versus Megatron, Matt Stafford edition. Started out with me trolling, showing some of Matt Stafford's bad throws. I was asking if, Detroit made him throw those bad passes in the red zone in that game where he really underperformed. He finally had a stinker, and I thought it was impossible for him to have a stinker playing for the Rams, but he did, and I'm very happy about that. You responded by attacking Brady, and then I responded by posting your bad prediction for that particular game, and then I posted a little video for the dude from, I always call it Unsolved Mysteries. It's called something else, but anyway, it's this funny collaboration or compilation of this guy just saying no We're wrong. We tricked you. Guess again. If you see the video, I just think it's a funny video in general, even though I was slandering you.
The video sucks. And in true Corey Carlton fashion, I'm not even gonna give that any kind of credit. Like, you already used that joke plenty of times before anyway. Like, make something new.
That's the first time I used it.
That is not the first time I've seen you use that.
I posted somebody else's media team doing it. That's the first
time I
did it.
Okay, it's the first time you did it, but you posted it with somebody else doing it. All right.
Well, cool. Oregon did it to Ohio State.
I know, but no, I mean, like, it's cool, man. Like, I'm not above criticism. Like, sometimes people forget that's how I came into the goddamn group. I think a lot of people see where I'm at now, and it's not like putting myself on a pedestal. I'm just saying I used to be a regular contributing member, spamming the page and all that stuff, and it's fine. I personally hate. Yeah, I was gonna say I got kicked out. Yeah, and I came back. And I personally hate being an admin sometimes because it's more fun when you don't have any responsibility. But yes, to the subject matter, you cannot diss Stafford's game and then act like, because Tom Brady is the best quarterback of all time. We're talking about this fucking season, man. I don't care about his 7 Super Bowls. We're talking about 2021's season. Brady and Stafford are basically playing at the same level.
Basically. But
right now.
I'm on Stafford because people say that, if he just wasn't in Detroit, he would be so good. I've heard people say he'd be Aaron Rodgers. The fuck? But no. People on TV, but they make all these excuses. So I'm just pointing out, when he plays bad, what's the excuse now? That's what I'm saying. We've already established what Tom Brady is. And he still came back and did the game-winning drive in a mediocre game. Highest rated quarterback for PFF, baby.
Whatever. That's all I got to say. Wait till you see how Stafford tear up. Wait till you see how Stafford tear up Jamal Adams in Seattle on Thursday.
Yeah, you'll be running the wrong way. Jamal Adams beat on a wheel route because he didn't carry it, but nobody wants to talk about the highest paid linebacker in the NFL. Well, the highest paid linebacker is really a safety in the NFL. I don't understand it. But my boy Greg Cosell broke it down. And Corey trying to talk about Greg Cosell is dated. Greg Cosell is out there grinding tape. Jamal Adams.
I saw the play. I saw the play live. And that was definitely his fucking fault.
And he's looking around, pointing to other people like, where were you? No, you were supposed to carry the wheel route, fool. You would have won. Anyway.
Yeah, that was 100% his fault.
Anyway, but that's not unusual. He did break up a touchdown. I think they were throwing to, was it Metcalf or somebody like that? But he did have a couple good plays. One good play I did see him, but he got burnt, or whatever you want to call it, a lapse, or whatever the hell you want to call it. New segment I'm introducing. He's washed, bro. We can't all the time. Every time someone gets released or someone isn't signed, we have somebody in the group say, how come so-and-so's not signed? It's week 4 going into week 5. If your person is not signed, he's trashed. Even Richard Sherman just got signed. And you could at least use the excuse that Richard Sherman had the offseason trouble. But clear, he just got waxed. But I still think Richard Sherman can contribute because he just came off the street and he got killed. He almost gave it like 100 yards. But if you're a player who used to be a name is not signed when the season starts, Cam Newton, you're not good anymore. And you're definitely not as good as you used to be. And that's why you're not signed. 32 teams look at your tape and say, nah. And in the case of Gurley, the last 2 seasons, he averaged less than 4 yards a carry. One was 3.8, and I think one was 3.5. If the league averages like 4.3. So if you're averaging under 4 yards a carry, that means 3 times you can't get a first down. They ran you 3 times. Their team would have to go for it on 4th down. Like, you can't. And we talk about somebody that has as many miles and how much they use Gurley up and the injuries. I shouldn't have to answer that question, Mr. Jermaine Childs. But he's not.
Yeah, I mean, to his credit though, he wasn't coming in like some of our members come in and
Yeah.
and hit the you don't know football. You must not know football.
Yeah, some
You
people
must
do
know
that.
football.
Yeah, I'm
Look,
sorry.
he was generally curious as to like what the hell's going on. So to you, sir, I would like to add to this segment, update your rosters. That's all. You just gotta update your rosters. We are a progressive group, and we know that running backs don't matter, including Christian McCaffrey, and old running backs surely
Definitely
don't matter. And honestly, one thing that people forget when you run the ball or you have the ball in your hands a lot, when you're used like running backs use, you age differently in the league. A 30-year-old running back is basically a 35-year-old receiver in some
You're
cases.
getting hit
Depending on
every play. Outside
yeah,
offensive lineman, but offensive
and
lineman, you're not getting hit from somebody running at you. You're not taking hits. You're blocking. You're getting hit back. You're getting hit almost every play if you're a running back. No other position is like that.
so you remember it was about 3 or 4 years ago, maybe 5, when Le'Veon Bell's contract issue was going around and people were saying he wasn't worth that amount of money. I had done a breakdown on the percentage of touches, like not even like times that they were hit, percentage of touches by running backs on plays. And the top dual threat running backs at that time were Le'Veon Bell, Todd Gurley, Ezekiel Elliott, and then Christian McCaffrey came in like a year or so after that. Like when you have guys who are being used in 45% of your plays or between that, I think the real line was 32 to 37%. They get worn down, and that's a lot of our dual threat running backs. So,
and you're talking about
how it is
for a season, 350, 380, almost 400 touches a year. And that means you're getting hit by these grown men that many times. And you see McCaffrey actually is constantly getting hurt because of it.
Yeah.
You see Zeke, he didn't get hurt, but we seen some years where he wasn't up to par. And some of that probably he didn't have that explosion. And obviously we see with Gurley, but yeah, especially with backs. Don't ask why. And I know some people. I think there's some people that still think Josh Gordon can do it. But the thing too about a receiver is they don't wear out as quick. A receiver can turn. A Josh Gordon guy can turn into like a bigger guy that can post you up in the red zone. Like you can transition to a different kind of receiver. You can't, and not that I think it's going to contribute. You can't transition to a different kind of running back. You just are what you are. You got slower. Like you're not, it's just not there. There's a reason why. And you say, oh, Mike Davis. Did anybody see what he's like, well, Gurley has to be better than Mike Davis. Anybody see what Mike Davis was doing last year with Carolina? Pretty damn good. So,
yeah.
And this year, you're not doing a lot of shit because they suck. Their line sucks. But at least give me the young legs over the old legs. Why would you want an old running back?
But and then one other thing he said was like he mentioned like the Super Bowl. I was like, bro, Gurley was having knee inflammation and issues during that Super Bowl. Like he didn't play because he was hurt. Like and the Falcons signed him. You think that went away? Of course not, man. Like all the red flags are there. It's just a lot of people just got to do that, like update their rosters. The same shit that happens in the NBA. People are like, why can't this person play? Because he can't anymore. Literally, can't do what you want him to do.
Still play was Melo, and it's a very limited role on what he's doing.
Yeah,
and it's a team that's not good, not a contender, and he finally was willing to. He couldn't play for a team that needed him to be the second option. It wasn't. He just kind of could catch and shoot and do his little thing, but he had to change his game drastically to be able to play for. Like he had to try to be Olympic Melo, and it finally kind of sort of worked out with Portland. Sort of. But we're not watching every Melo game. We're watching the Melo games where he has good games. People are ignoring those horrible games. But my last thing I want to talk about, if you hadn't had anything else to say, there was a post today, and Jordan was on it, Tony was on it, and then this guy named Brandon, who's also a Cowboy fan. And the PFF grades came out. I put the top 10, 15 up for cornerback. I will say PFF grades for corners are the weakest they have. But they were actually mad because Trayvon Diggs.
I know Diggs wasn't on there. And you know what's funny? I saw that shit and I didn't say anything because I wanted everybody to have their comments so I could come back in and stir some shit up. I like Diggs though. But
I like him too. And I mean, I looked for him and I was a little surprised. But the thing about it is, just because you get interceptions doesn't
doing
mean
what you're
you're the
supposed to be
best
doing.
corner. Oftentimes, do you think Diggs is better than Jalen Ramsey because he gets
Oh,
more? Oftentimes, you don't even throw at the best corners. So I love that he's a ball hawk. And those interceptions, depending on when they're happening, they're like more valuable than a lot of things that can happen on the field. But if you're getting beat on the other plays, that counts too. And PFF is looking at the plays where you aren't paying attention to, where he's getting beat and you're ignoring that. Or he gets beat, and even if he gets beat, they overthrow him. PFF is counting every single snap. So we got to get past this kiddie table football view. PFF is the gospel, folks. Now, sometimes the gospels can be confusing. Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, sometimes people say they conflict. I prefer to view it's different story, perspectives, but it's the gospel. At the very least, if you're not watching film, don't criticize PFF, sucker, because you don't know what the hell you're talking about.
I was gonna say I'm borderline an atheist. I let PFF do their thing. I don't have the time to dispute their data. Obviously, they put a lot of time into it. I feel like I would have to be Joe Matz to
now he's got club feet. Now Jay Hollis saying he's got club feet.
he has been saying that privately all season.
But not 2 years ago he wasn't.
Not 2 years ago. 2 years ago it was what I tell you he could play. What I tell you. But one thing people got to remember too, Diggs does what he's supposed to do in that system. It's essentially the Seahawks system that Dan Quinn implemented. People used to always say Richard Sherman wasn't as good as he was because he played in this system and it was the cover 3 system, but they were just saying zone. Diggs is a talent, man, and I'm sure it'll eventually translate to PFF type recognition. But he's doing what he's asked to do and he's playing within his limits. So, I mean, it happens, but people have to also understand Jalen Ramsey is the hybrid. He's the fucking future of a cornerback position. That's the guy that you want as a cornerback because he's really a fucking bully. He's a corner. He's a safety. I've seen him at the line of scrimmage a lot more now. Like he is like the amoeba he's like the Troy Polamalu for that Rams defense right now. He's all over the place doing all kind of things. And you just have to understand his impact. Like people don't target him really. And then when they try to target him, they're putting like Jimmy Grahams and things like that, the big body receivers or tight ends on him, and he's still shutting them down too. So
I would be remiss without saying this. Our friend Patrick McIntosh, Florida Gators, they are at the kiddie table that lost to Kentucky. He was talking about them playing Georgia. Bro, you don't want to see you do not want to see Georgia. That much I promise you.
No. Let them find out, bro. I've been telling them all year. I've been telling this boy since week 0 to leave that alone. And he just been barking. So let his ass find out.
And FYI, folks, this is why and I love Diggs. This is why, and I like them coming out of the draft, very physical corner. I like that kind of corner in the Sherman mold. He has a 67.9 PFF grade, which is in the green, which is good. He has a 78.8 coverage grade, which is very good. He has a 28.4 run defense grade. Now, how many of these guys on there paying attention to how he tackles or what he does in the run game? That does matter. It's not as important as, and so like PFF against Philly, he had a 92 grade, but he only had a 47 grade this last game, even though he got the interceptions. He had only had a 47 grade. I'm trying to see how much he got caught on. He was targeted 8 times, gave up 4 receptions for 82 yards. In week 2, he was targeted 9 times, 6 receptions, 121 yards. I love him, but you gotta chill. Just because he gets interceptions, that's not the whole story. He has a very good PFF grade, but you gotta look at the totality. And if you watch the games closely, you see him in the run game, which wouldn't be as good, and you see the times where he's given up over 100 yards individually. Or last week, he gave up, what did I say? Let me see. Gave up 82 yards. So, he's not perfect. He's young. It's his second year. But just relax. If you ain't watching the game closely, then let PFF do it for you. Okay?
Yeah, no doubt. And if you feel like they're wrong, then take your ass back out there and you can pay for all 22s and break it down like they do. Just know what you're looking at.
Exactly.
and one other thing, like I want to say, because we don't usually break down things on football here. Like, people have to also understand the Cowboys want to play defense a specific way. It has been their goal for the last 2 to 3 years to generate turnovers. So regardless of what PFF might think, as long as Diggs is getting those turnovers, or the team in general is getting turnovers, they will take that shit any day of the week and say, the hell with a PFF grade. You could be a 40 if you're getting 2-3 interceptions a game and you're not specifically giving up touchdowns. They'll take that.
All right, you got anything to plug before we go?
Yeah, I am going to be apologizing a lot for my awful week on the podcast tomorrow for the backdoor cover. Also want to say that I am officially off the NFL show thanks to you. I will not be in attendance this Sunday. I'm holding out. I'm going to get my rep to send you some paper about these fraudulent claims that you've put against my name, sir.
Well, we'll see. Of course, as long as Corey's there, maybe we'll do a third. I liked it doing with two, just with us. I thought it was it's smoother. It's more fun with three. Three is always hard. 3-man booth, 3-man podcast, always a little bit harder. Well, I guess I was able to seamlessly put my stats in and that kind of stuff more than I was with the three of y'all, because it just becomes y'all troll me all the time. But and I can't focus like I want to. But yeah, do the I got Alan's podcast Sunday morning NFL podcast about 11ish on CP time. We do that. Also, Keith has the daily fantasy football show podcast. Should be Team Turnbuckle podcast coming this week too. Make sure you rate and subscribe, give 5 stars, share it, post about it in the group to kind of get it going as well. And then for Actively Lazy, aka Starscream, this is the Commish Megatron. Have a great day, everybody.
Roll out.